Hello everyone, welcome to a Day in the Life of series, which is a small initiative of Tech Culture Champions community at Intuit, where we spread awareness about the roles, responsibilities, skills, and resources of major job profiles at Intuit. Before we dive into our today's podcast, let's quickly look into what we are doing in Tech Culture Champions community. So, our community aims to empower technologists to collaborate, own their growth, and achieve their greatest careers at Intuit. It is a grassroots initiative that aims to strengthen engineering culture and instill engineering pride in employees by tapping into their passion to solve for customer outcomes. It also embraces bigger engineering charters while shaping broader internal and external perception of Intuit's tech capabilities. This community is led by colleagues and core team of passionate technologists with the objective to inspire more of the colleagues to be the voice of change and cross-pollinate the best practices across key tech themes. So I'm Kritika. I am a software developer at Intuit. I've been with Intuit for almost 2 years now. So for our today's podcast, we have Divya Venugopal with us. She is an engineering manager and she's been with Intuit for more than 2 years now. So she has vast experience of building enterprise applications at scale. Previously, she was associated with SBSCG team by leading desktop migration. Now she is leading monetization services and experiences team and handling cool projects like split billing and L2 GST. Welcome Divya and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Kritika. Thanks for having me here.
So can you tell us a bit about yourself and about your career at Intuit?
Sure. So I'm an engineering manager here in GTM Tech MSc team. And like you said, MSc team takes care of different aspects of the checkout journey, which includes pricing and product configuration, checkout of products, and also payments and billing and subscription of various products that Intuit has. I manage a team of 23 engineers based out of India, and it's been more than 2 years now with Intuit.
Yeah. So you are an engineering manager, right? So what is your role in Intuit looks like, or what is your typical day looks like?
So a typical day can be categorized into two parts. One is the planned work and one is the unplanned work. So the planned work is usually about the team meetings that happens or one-on-ones or coaching and mentoring sessions, or it could be a technical roadmap discussion or even prioritization discussions, right? And it also involves program review meetings or even operational excellence meetings. Whereas when it comes to unplanned, it's usually involving around the blockers that has to be, taken care of for the team, or it could be even escalations that happen, or it could be even incident management. So that's how I would say a typical day looks like.
I can see like you are handling multiple escalations and incident meetings, right? So what is the biggest challenge you faced when you became a first time engineer?
So first time engineering manager role for everyone is challenging, I feel. So I did not deliberately choose the role. I was suggested this role by my leaders and by my team, and I couldn't understand why I was being suggested. But once I got into the role, I think it felt more natural. And that's when I got to understand what exactly they saw in me, which I could not see in myself. There are different aspects that do come into play when you're an engineer or an individual contributor, and things change when you become an engineering manager. The biggest thing or the biggest challenge that I felt is to let go, because a lot of things which you used to get into like perfection mode when you're an individual contributor, you have to let go of those. That's what I would say as my biggest challenge when I got in. But I'm very grateful, and it's a humbling environment that I had where all my leaders and my team, including my reportees, supported me, and I grew in this. So, yeah.
But generally in the industry, like after senior or staff engineering roles, we can take two different paths, right? Either we can go in managerial path or we can go and choose principal engineer roles, right? Why did you choose managerial path?
I would again say it's dependent on people. So if you feel you can grow people and you're passionate about that and also passionate about technology, this would be one of the roles that will excite people. So that's where I felt that it was a growing scenario for me where I was growing along with my team, where I was learning. And like I mentioned, it was a humbling moment for me where I could learn many things from my team. So, yeah, that's the reason I chose that role.
Yeah. So you are mostly into people management rather than doing technical side of work, right? So I have read this somewhere that engineering is easy and people are hard. So how do you ensure that your engineering team is motivated and engaged in their work?
Yeah. So motivation again, I think it comes from within too. But if the purpose of what we are doing is being clearly articulated and clearly, visible to the team, that inspires the team towards what they are working, right? And then every person that comes into a team has their own strengths and opportunity areas. As a manager, once I identify that, it becomes easier for me to also encourage them and challenge them to work and make them, better in their goals. So that's where I think giving them the purpose and making them understand the why behind what they are doing, plus also working on their strengths and their opportunity areas and then challenging them. That I think is a good mix of motivating people.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. So we have so much of technologies and tools in place, right? And many more other tools are evolving in a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
So how do you stay up to date with the latest technologies and trends in the industry?
So I read a lot. So I follow Medium articles and I go through like YouTube channels, and I also attend meetups. I'm part of developer communities as well, and also I attend leadership summits. So that keeps me, up to date with the technology that's going around. And I also have a vast set of friends, peers, mentors, coaches, and also my previous reportees plus the current reportees. So all of them gives me a lot of information when I'm having those discussions. So through People Connect too, I get a lot of learning. And if I have to deep dive into a particular technology, then I follow like Udemy or Safari courses, and then I do hands-on coding as well, so that I am more relevant.
But you are mostly into people management, right? But you are again learning new technologies and trends. Is it like still you get time to code, or how is it like?
Yeah, that's one of the questions that even my reportees ask. I don't get to code as much as I used to when I was an individual contributor, but given a chance, I do code. So it might be in different aspects, right? It might not be like I'm daily coding, but I do code reviews. I'm part of design discussions. And also, I spend some time during weekends for my own learning. That's more personal for me to keep myself updated. So that's how I would say. But given a chance, whenever there's an issue that needs more people to look into and start coding, I'm not shied away from coding. So that's how I would say.
Okay. So sometimes you may, feel like your team members' work is not up to the mark, right? So at that time, you need to give the feedback constructively, right? So how will you give the constructive feedback to your team members?
See, feedback. What I feel, Kritika, is that it's a blessing. It's good that we are getting feedback because everyone has their own strength and opportunity areas. The more we get to know about it, the more we can work and foster the career, right? So that's how I look at it. While I'm giving feedback to any engineer or anyone on the team, the way I look at it is how can it benefit for them to grow? And I put that lens when I'm giving the feedback, so that's easier. And the other part is how would I like to be given a feedback? So I put that lens too, so that I don't articulate it in the way that hurts them, but they understand why the feedback has been given. And I also appreciate whatever is being done good too, right? That is also feedback. So feedback
Yeah.
need not be something, it's only about opportunities. And I too need feedback. So I too collect the feedback from my engineers too, so that I also can learn and grow because I'm also human.
Yeah. And as you said, like you have been worked in multiple priority items and multiple new initiatives, right? So how will you find, like, how do you find the balance between the priority items and the initiatives?
Right. So whenever any initiatives come in, I think all our initiatives, irrespective of whichever team we are part of, it all ties up to the company goals. So that's where, and what benefit do we provide to our customers? So once we look at it from that angle of what is the customer benefit out of every initiative that we are doing, becomes easier for us to prioritize tasks too on a daily level, as well as when you're putting up roadmaps or even having cross team collaborations. I think that helps us in prioritizing and having those discussions.
So basically, all the initiatives and priority items are ties up to our company goals, right?
Correct.
So how do you think like Intuit is fostering the creativity and innovation within our engineering teams?
Sure. So creativity, I think, can come from any person at any time. I think having a curious mindset helps us to question different things, and then ideas could come from those questions, right? And the curiosity that we have. But from Intuit standpoint, I think one of the major things which stood out for me is the global engineering days that we have, or the
Yeah.
GED days, which is like dedicated time that we get to think outside the box and also collaborate with teams whom we don't work on a daily basis, maybe, and then also think through, uninterrupted time, right? So that's one of the days that I also enjoy, because I also take that time to code. So I think that's one of the major areas that I feel where Intuit has, fostered the creativity and innovation. And
Yeah.
Gen AI too, right?
Yeah, exactly. I think GED is a major thing in Intuit where we can cross collaborate with other teams and do our interesting parts over there.
True.
Yeah. And I have this question in my mind, and I hope like many people have their this question in their minds too. So you've been in both the roles, right? Software engineer and engineering manager. So which role is hard and which is fun?
Tough one.
Yeah.
I think both the roles are fun and both the roles are hard. There are good days and bad days in both roles. But I think having played both the roles right now, I feel, for me personally, again, I would enjoy both. So that's the way I would put it. Again, it's a personal choice.
Okay. So yeah, the final question, what advice would you give to someone who is interested in pursuing a career in engineering manager, as engineering manager in Intuit?
Like I've already mentioned, this is a role where you make a lot of impact in careers of others' lives, right? So it might not be a role for everyone, but if you are willing to invest in people and are passionate about technology, passionate about people, I think this is the role for you. That's how I would say.
Yeah, Divya. Yeah, I think we are good to wrap up with this. Thank you, Divya. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Kritika.